me give you a little more.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, we made it to another weekend. Yes, we did. TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. I know. The calendar says Friday, but damn it, I say it's Friday. Yay, it is Friday. My name is Geno Jones. You know that. You can see the sign in the background. I got you. It's just a Friday, and I'm always feeling good. Every day is a good day, as my grandfather said. Any day above ground is a good day, but it's something extra special about a Friday edition of the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, Chicago, New Orleans, Memphis, St. Louis, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. I got you. And everywhere in between. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Like, share, subscribe, spread the word. Tell everybody you know, your friends, your enemies, your co-workers, your church members, strangers, aliens. I don't give a damn. Tell everybody this is the place to be. Simply the best. Tina Turner had a song. She said, simply the best. Simply the best. I say that with all modesty and humility. But Muhammad Ali said, the greatest rest in peace, power, and paradise. It ain't bragging if you can back it up, young man. So just check it out. Listen, man, today's show is going to be fire. It's going to be fire in more ways than one. You'll see what I'm talking about just in a few minutes. If you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to advertise, I'd be honored to have you advertise. I'd be honored to have you as a sponsor. And if you're looking for the ultimate pitch man, or now the term we use is brand ambassador, like, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z found out this week they're new brand ambassadors for Tiffany's. You know, Tiffany, you know, the store with the, you know, the store that you can't afford to buy anything. You can't even afford to buy a damn book, a box of matches out of Tiffany's. Yeah, that store with the little blue box with the pretty expensive, jewelry? Yeah, you could tell I can't even afford to shop in Tiffany's. Not yet. Anyway, so if you're looking for the ultimate brand ambassador for your business, to build your business, your brand, your products, your goods, your services, you need to move them, you need to generate sales. I am the king, not the king. No, not the king. No, sir, no, ma'am. I'm the king of pitchmen. Holler at me. Leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel, or better yet, email me, GenoJonesShow@gmail. That's how you spell it. No the, just GenoJonesShow@gmail. Let me get right into it this week in review. First of all, let me shout out the elements Earth, Wind, and Fire. Told you the show was going to be fire in more ways than one. So Earth, Wind, and Fire just released a new single overnight featuring this talented young brother. The brother is bad. Lucky Day. Those who really are big R&B fans, you've heard of Lucky Day, new artist anyway. So he got together with Verdine White and Ralph Johnson and all the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire. So they released a song called You Want My Love. And I know you do. Well, the last part, you know you do. I kind of threw that one in there. So it's called You Want My Love. It is an updated version of their classic, one of my all-time favorites. As a matter of fact, some of y'all are running around here right now because your mama and daddy was playing that song when you were conceived. Yeah, you were. Can't Hide Love. So it is an updated version. It is awesome. And as soon as the video comes out, I promise you, you will see it right here on the Geno Jones Show. So shout out to Verdine White, the pride of the west side of Chicago, Henry Horner Projects, Crane High School, Philip Bailey, repping Denver, Colorado, and just Earth, Wind, and Fire. One of the most iconic, one of the greatest bands and groups in the history of music. That plain and simple. Okay, let me heat some things up here. All week long, I've heard so much. I've heard all these armchair generals, keyboard warriors, seeming to have all the answers, including a lot of folks in the media. And not the ones that you expect what I call it fake news, Republican state TV, and worse. I expect them, the Newsmax, the fake news, and One America Network, One America Nutty, OAN. I would expect those outlets to just be on some just really anti-democratic, seditionist kind of crap. But man, even on like your CNNs, even sometimes some of the folks, MSNBC, not so bad. But anyway, I've heard all of this. Everybody is a military expert. As a matter of fact, most of you all who are military experts, outside of the ones who actually wore the uniform and put their ass on the line and risk their life to serve and protect this country, most of you all, the closest you ever came to joining the military was sitting there with the damn thing in your hand playing Call of Duty, the video game. But now, everybody is General George Patton. Everybody is General Colin Powell, General Russell Honoré, all these military strategists, like all of you all went to damn West Point. Everybody is a military expert. Now, I don't know why I haven't heard from these people, let's say for the last 20 years, after $2 trillion with a T, $2 trillion that we spent, $90 billion building up a military, 300,000 people in a military in Afghanistan, supposedly 300,000 soldiers. We gave them an Air Force, built them Bagram Air Force Base. So look, man, we give you an Air Force, we give you an Air Force Base, you got the best weapons, you got night vision goggles and the best guns and weapons and everything you could need, and the training. Our best men and women in the military special forces have trained you how to fight for yourself. My God. Not to mention nearly 2,400 dead Americans. And I understand way more than that. I've heard the number could be as high as 25 times as many Afghanis, those from Afghanistan died. I got it. Over 20 years. But Janet Jackson had a song called What Have You Done For Me Lately? And what did the Afghan military do for its people lately? Well, the president, he just got the hell up out of town. He didn't even tell anybody. He's talking about cut and run. He cut and flew his ass out of the country. We still don't know where the president of Afghanistan. Can you just think about it? Hold on. Just imagine on January 6th, when the insurrectionists stormed the Capitol and they tried to assassinate Vice President at the time, Mike Pence, built a gallows, literally built it in front of the U.S. Capitol to hang his ass in front of the U.S. Capitol, stormed the Capitol, broke in, looking for Nancy Pelosi, talking about, where's that bee? We're going to kill that bee. So can you imagine if on January 6th, President-elect, because on January 6th, Joe Biden was the president-elect, elected by us. If all of a sudden he would have got on a plane with his family and flew out of the country, and we never knew where he was, we didn't hear from him until he posted something on Facebook. Can you imagine? Just think about that for 1 second. If Joe Biden would have pulled a stunt like that, that's what the president of Afghanistan did. That is exactly what the president of Afghanistan did. So listen, I'm gonna stop ranting, all right? Because I never served a second in the military, but I have mad respect for people who have put their life on the line to serve and protect this country. So I'm so lucky, honored, and blessed to have as the military expert for the Geno Jones Show. He is a retired Marine Master Sergeant. He's been on the show before. His name is Master Sergeant Roy Gray, who I am bringing on camera right now. Master Sergeant, I want to thank you once again for joining me.
Hoorah!
There you go. All right. See, since I never served in the military, especially the Marines, I don't know if I'm allowed to respond back. Is it okay for me to respond back like that to you?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Hoorah! There we go. All right, then. All right. So you heard my rant. I'm gonna step back, and I want to just give you the floor. You and I talked about it. Let me start you off with the question. I guess it wasn't just a question. It was just my thought. Why should the American people expect this country, and why should we as Americans be willing to send our sons and daughters, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, husbands, wives, brothers and sisters over to a country for another, I don't know, we've been there for 20 years. If at this moment, now I understand that yes, many of the Afghan people fought and died. I got it. But at this moment, we saw a military, we saw a president of the country who fled and didn't tell anybody a damn thing. He just got out of there. And we saw a military that said, to hell with it. There's a movie next Friday. I don't know if you saw next Friday, Ice Cube and my man Mike Epps. So next Friday, they were top flight security. They were like security guards for this mall. And so these gang members came to look for them, basically to beat their ass. And they got so scared, they ran in the alley, literally took off the uniforms, threw them in the trash can, and it was like, hey, man, we out.
Yeah.
That's what the Afghan military did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
How can we want something for somebody, Master Sergeant, more than they want it for themselves? How can we be willing to continue to fight and die for a country, and especially the men in the country? I gotta go there. If those men are not willing to fight and die to protect not just their country, but their women and children. Now, you take the floor.
All right. Now, the first thing I want to say is I really feel bad for the Afghan people.
Thank you.
Because they are, especially the women, they are in a terrible situation. And who knows what's going to happen, when the Taliban really take over, man. So I really feel sorry for those people. But now, having said that, I'm gonna do a mic drop moment right from the start. Now, President Biden, who I love, I can't speak for him, but I'm gonna say this: war is confusing, it's deadly, it's fast, it's slow, it's all kind of things. But everybody that wants to complain about this, I just want to tell you to shut up, because you haven't been there, you haven't shed any blood. So you might as well, if you got any kind of complaint, keep it to yourself, because war is a lot of things. And it's confusing. They talk about the fog of war. It's confusing, it's fast moving, and you have to adjust accordingly. And that's what the president is doing now. I don't care what he said last week, the situation changes at a moment's notice. And you have to change with it. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to get everybody out of there. So you might as well be patient. He's got everybody over there. He's got the Marines, 101st, and everybody else trying to, really control that situation. And I think we have it under control. And so hopefully we'll be able to get everybody out.
So, Master Sergeant, let me not to interrupt, but I think what you started off with your mic drop is so important. I just want you to be able to really emphasize that. Because, like I said, I've heard so much armchair generals and these keyboard warriors. But I think the point at the beginning, you talk about the fog of war and about how the situation on the ground changes instantly. Because I've heard so many people, well, why didn't he have this plan? And why didn't he have that? And why didn't he get these folks out earlier? But if you had the president who fled the damn country, who came to the White House in June and begged President Biden, please don't start pulling people out of the country. Don't start pulling all your equipment out, because that will give a signal to the world that this government has failed and that the Taliban. So he tried to help the president, And he
Yeah.
basically did what he was asked to do. And then the president couldn't run on his ass. It wasn't like he told him, hey,
Yeah.
listen, man, I'm just going to lead the damn country. I ain't going to tell nobody. So why didn't he tell President Bush, oh my God, President Biden, why didn't he tell President Biden that he was going to be so cowardly at the very end that he was just going to leave the country and his people behind? He didn't say that when he met with President Biden in June. So I think what you said, now I'll just let you go back and then and you can go ahead to your next point. But we have to understand, like you said, listen, this was inevitable. We haven't really, first of all, the majority of Americans, correct me if I'm wrong, I think only 1% of the American people or someone in their family are serving in the military. So
That's correct.
we haven't, it's been really easy. We've been able to sit back, let you guys do all the work, do all the dying. We can sit back and play video games, play Call of Duty, and act like we General Patton or some damn body, but really not understand. Like when we got in 2001, which I'm sure you're going to address, and President Biden said that our goal was to find the people who attacked us on 9/11. Now they got bin Laden. I do want to ask you about when they had him in 2001 in Tora Bora, why they didn't just get the job done then, because 19 years later, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I'll let you pick up. But I wanted to go back to that point because I don't think people understand that, Master Sergeant. You understand it. You served a total of how many years in the military?
20 years.
So were you you were never in Afghanistan? Have you ever been over to that part of the country serving?
Oh, I've been in that part of the world many times,
Okay.
but not in Afghanistan.
So you understand the culture, and which is something else that I think the majority of Americans and a lot of these folks, these talking heads, they don't really understand the culture of that country and that part of the world, do they?
And one of the main things I think a lot of people don't understand is that these people have been fighting since the days of Moses. They are going to stop killing each other. They're not. It doesn't, and they're sort of like a group of kids fighting each other. So we come in and break them up, and then both sides kind of turn against us, and we're caught in the middle. It's time for us to stop being caught in the middle. And if, unfortunately, if they want to destroy each other, it's just going to have to happen because you can't stop them from fighting, no matter what.
So how is it that we as a country, how do we wind up staying and being stuck in this country for so long? Even this 10 years ago, when we finally found bin Laden and killed bin Laden, we stayed in Afghanistan for another 10 years. How did that happen?
At that time, the terrorist threat might have still been pretty high. So we stayed there in order to keep, because now we haven't had any terrorist attacks. So that part of it was successful.
Right.
And so you wanted to stay there to make sure none of this stuff happened again. And we also we always try to help out people in other countries, no matter where we go. So I'm sure we wanted to help out the Afghan people, and especially the women in those countries who are treated like nothing. And, we wanted to help all of these people out and to help improve their lives. But we cannot stay there forever, losing our own people. We just cannot.
And to go back to that point, because America collectively, even though the last 4 or 5 years, we haven't looked like America, but instinctively, we as Americans are compassionate people.
Right.
And I agree with you. I have daughters. I got a mother. I got a wife. I got sisters. So, listen, there's nobody more protective of the women in their family than me. But at some point, we talked Monday, and I shared the story the other day, and you made a great point. I was looking at the video. Monday, there was the video of this huge C-17 military aircraft, and you saw all these Afghan men who were running along the side of it and trying to hold on to the wing of the plane, the wings and the engine. And you said, why is it? Well, as a matter of fact, I want you to tell the viewers, what you told me when we talked about that scene, because you picked up on something that I didn't pick up on in real time when I watched the video. So share with the viewers what you shared with me, that perspective.
You know, when I saw those men, first of all, the Afghans outnumbered the Taliban, first of all. And when I saw all those men at the airport running, and I didn't really see many women in that crowd either, just mostly men. And I said, these men, if they would pick up a weapon and protect their country, well, maybe they wouldn't be in the shape that they are now in. And these same men who basically treat women as second-class citizens, and they will stone a woman to death if they think she's done something to offend them, you know, but yet they won't stand up to the Taliban, who's about to take over their country and possibly kill some of their family members. Wow. It's ridiculous.
That part right there, y'all. That part. There you go. Clip that, put that on TikTok right there. That's your mic drop. That's your viral moment right there in the show. Because when you pointed that out, I was like, oh, wow, he's right. Because after we talked, I went back and I got a chance to look at that video, that particular shot or scene, that moment, over and over. I was like, I didn't see any women. And not only were they men, Master Sergeant, they were young-looking men. I looked like dudes in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. I didn't see like any old broken down, somebody 80, 90. No, they running and smiling. I'm like, whoa. And I thought about what you said. We giving you all these weapons. We giving you this training.
They're a bunch of cowards as far as I'm concerned. If someone by chance was attacking the United States, I'm about to be 68 years old here in a couple of days, you know. I'm going to grab bricks, sticks, rocks, whatever I can find, and fight. I don't care who it is. You know, I don't care who it is. And here all these guys are running, trying to get away. It's crazy.
That was a great point, which really just amplified the point I was trying to make. And I think the point that President Biden is making, at some point, we can't want this for you. We can't want your freedom for you more than you want it for yourself. You have to be willing to die. Why should we continue to be willing to die to defend your country and your women and children if you are not willing to do it? It just, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Just from a moral standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me.
How can you train for 20 years and still not be prepared? They didn't fire a shot. They let the Taliban walk right in the door. Didn't fire a shot. You know, how? I don't believe that anybody, I believe that people thought that the country was going to be overrun, but I don't believe anybody thought, as a matter of fact, I heard one general speak to this. I don't think anybody thought that they would give up the way that they did.
Yeah. And that was like I said, what president at the end, what president just gets on a plane and leaves the country when this country is at war and doesn't even tell anybody? Listen, you have to help me. I know you are a student of history, because I can't remember any leader of a major nation or country like that doing that in that moment. And you have to educate me, because I don't remember.
Just walking away. No, I don't know if it's ever, you know, I don't know if it's ever happened.
It's like really? Is this what we doing? It's just like, and I saw some video where he was on camera talking about, oh, I'm going to stay with him and help, and I'm sticking around to the end, and I'm going to see this thing out. I'm paraphrasing it. And at the end of the day, he was like, man, look, I'm out of here. Good luck, y'all. Y'all can have this. I'm out. So,
and also,
go ahead.
Anybody that has any complaint about what the president is doing, do you realize how much we have sacrificed for other countries and other people? All you need to do, of course, now the war is over now, but being a veteran, I go to the VA hospital. And if you see these veterans walking around there with no arms, no legs, burnt beyond recognition, you need to see this. And then you'll know why it's time for us to get out of there and stay out and stop all the freaking complaining. You need to go to the VA hospital and take a look at those vets who have sacrificed for someone else.
I'm glad you brought that point up. So on that note, I think this will be a good. I want to segue to this. Let's go forward now. If you could sit down with President Biden, because now the chatter is, well, of course we want to get all of our Americans out, and we want to get the Afghans that have assisted the Americans. Shout out, and not in a good way, shout out to Senator Lindsey Graham. I'm here in the state of South Carolina, here in the Charleston metro area. So I just see a quote where Mr. Graham says, if President Biden doesn't get all the Americans and our allies out of Afghanistan, he should be impeached. Hey, Lindsey, got a question for you, partner.
Yeah.
How many of those, no, we're not going to talk about the Americans. I want to know how many of those Afghan citizens, how many of those Afghan allies are you willing to have sent to South Carolina? Don't, I'll wait. Oh, no, I'm not going to wait. Master Sergeant, I got the answer for you. 0, not a damn one, I guarantee. Let's count how many Afghan allies you see Lindsey Graham say, hey, send them here to South Carolina. I'm gonna wait on that one. So so my question to you is, I had to take that shot at Lindsey.
Let me throw that quick down. If Lindsey wants to impeach someone, how about you impeach Donald Trump for those policemen, those Capitol policemen who are dead?
Ooh, that part.
Now,
that part. Okay. Yeah. Since we impeached him, no, Lindsey, vote to convict. Because if he voted to convict, then we wouldn't have to worry about Orange Hitler trying to run again. I digress. So I want to go back. My question is, if you could sit down with President Biden, because like now the big moral outrage is like, and listen, and I do understand. My grandfather, Conway Jones, wisest man I've ever known, person still to this day, would look at me as a little boy and say, Jeannie, your word is your bond. Your word is your bond. You make a promise, you keep a promise. I get that, and I agree with that. So my question is, what would you recommend? What advice would you give to President Biden in terms of how he can, keep his word? He can honor that bond. Your word is your bond. So how can he keep his word? Because first of all, this isn't his mess. It's his mess now because he is the commander in chief. But this is, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest. And look, and I'm not taking a shot at President Obama because I love President Obama. But I'm looking at George W., 2 terms of President Obama, and Orange Hitler. So I think the argument could be made, Master Sergeant, that the only one who really had the courage and the cojones enough to say, be willing to take the hit, the political hit, the hit and the heat from the media to say, you know what, no more. I'm not doing this no more. No more American men and women are going to die for this situation, for this country, because at the end of the day, like you said, they've been fighting for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
So, and if they're not willing to fight for themselves at this moment, why should one more American soldier have to die? And it may sound like insensitive, but I'm just being honest. But what would you recommend in terms of how do we address the situation with the Afghan allies that have worked with not just the soldiers, but the other, NGO, non-governmental organizations that were part of that? What would be your recommendation, your advice?
My only complaint to the president would be, I think they should have started getting those people out earlier. That would be my only complaint. Those people, they should have gotten them out. They should have started taking them out of there a lot sooner than we did. That's the only problem I have with any of that.
Right. So let me ask you that. So you're saying that President Biden should have ignored the president of Afghanistan when he basically begged and pleaded with President Biden not to start pulling equipment and troops out because he felt that would really give a sign to the Taliban and the world that he given up on that country and his government. You would have told him, don't listen to that advice. Damn that. Just start pulling them out.
Yeah, you need to get those people out of there. But like I said, I'm sure nobody thought that the Afghan military was going to give up as quickly as they did. And I think a lot of stuff was based on that also. Nobody thought that they were going to give up like that. So a lot of decisions might have been made based on the fact that, they didn't think they were going to just cut and run.
Right.
But yeah, so I think we should have gotten the people out sooner. But I think he's doing a great job now, getting those people out of there. Now, remember, once again, this is war. And unfortunately, things happen that are beyond anybody's control. You can try to get everybody out. Somebody may get left behind. I don't know.
So
But
this artist, let's talk about. Well, I want you to finish your point because I want to ask you about this date that we've set in terms of August 31st. Do you think that should we focus on the date, or should we? And do you think he's really doing it and maybe just not trying to tip his hand to the Taliban? That when August 31st comes, if all the Americans and if all the Afghan allies that want to leave haven't left, that he will basically just tell the military, listen, go ahead, finish the job, get everybody, as many people out as we can. Don't worry about this this deadline, because it's an artificial deadline because you can move it. What would be your advice if you had a chance to sit down and talk to the commander in chief?
he was going to get everybody out, but then again, like I said, I understand. We're not playing baseball here. This is war, and things happen that are beyond your control, no matter what. I mean, they just change rapidly. So I think he's going to get everybody out, and hopefully nobody's left behind. But now, as far as the Afghans go, he's trying to get everybody out that has worked with us. There's probably going to be somebody left behind because the way things are going right now, it's like all the Afghan people want to leave, and we can't take everybody. He can only get those people that have served with the Americans, during the war. So someone may be left, hopefully not, but I think he's going to do his best. I don't think he's going to worry about that date because he's got the 82nd Airborne over there patrolling the place. And so I think he's going to try to get everybody out of there that he possibly can. And like I said, everybody can pretty much stop with the complaints, because this is a tremendous job. It's a big job, and I'll be surprised if we don't leave somebody behind somehow.
Not
It's
intentionally, just like you said, because the fog of war.
Yeah.
Master Sergeant, one more thing before you get out, because you've served honorably, you've led men. If you could speak to the men and women who served in Afghanistan, I'm sure you probably got some friends, fellow Marines, or just fellow service men and women who served in that theater, as they say, who are really pretty upset, felt that, that what was it for? Like it's some that lost limbs, lost lives, that, some lost some of their, best friends or people who served with them, next to them. They saw them die. So I see there's been a lot of sentiment. And as far as I'm concerned, the only people who really have any legitimate gripe and beef are the men and women who serve in that theater. I defer to them, even if I don't necessarily agree with their position. As far as I'm concerned, they've earned the right. They got the receipts to sit back and to give their opinion. But the rest of you armchair generals and keyboard warriors and Call of Duty heroes need to shut the hell up. What would you say to the men and women who served in Afghanistan in terms of, was what they did? I've heard this talking about that they felt that their service was in vain. What would you say to those men and women? How would you speak to them?
The Commandant of the Marine Corps and the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, they put out a letter, to all Marines, telling them that, we accomplished the mission that we were sent there to do. Bottom line, we accomplished the mission that we were sent there to do. Now, yes, there was a lot of other things added on, but we accomplished the mission that we were sent to do. And if you are a true Marine, of course, now I'm talking to all branches of service, but I'm going to pick on the Marines. When you sign the paper, I will defend the country no matter what. And I will take orders no matter what. I'll follow all lawful orders. If we have to go somewhere to fight with somebody, you have to maintain that same spirit that you've always had, no matter what, no matter how bad it gets. You have to maintain that same spirit and grab your pack and hit the road. Hoorah. It just don't matter. You have to do what you have to do.
Hey, listen, that's for me and for the show, that's the mic drop moment. I can't thank you enough, Master Sergeant, and all the men and women of all the branches of the military. Once again, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Just hearing that closing remarks, man, I just got goosebumps on my back because I so admire the level of, because people talk about honor and duty and throw these words around and really don't understand that this is really, it's the culture, it's in the DNA, it's in the bloodstream of men and women like yourself who are serving, who have served this country. And I think we're very fortunate to have men and women like yourself.
And let me say one more thing here. You know, all military people, we all realize that freedom is not free. It's never been free. Somebody has to bleed. Somebody has.
And the fact, knowing that you're still willing to go ahead and put it on the line, and like you said, put on that uniform and grab your pack, as you say, and go out there and do what you're told to do by civilians, because it's a civilian military. I mean, civilians make the decisions that the men and women in uniform like yourself have to carry out the missions that are given to you all. You all have to execute those missions, and good, bad, ugly, whatever comes along with that. You all have to take the good with the bad. So I have so much respect for that, and I hope, in closing, I hope that all of us can take your advice, visit a VA hospital, and talk to one of the men and women that you see, the veterans in that hospital, and thank them for their service. Because like I said, so many of us take it for granted because so few of us are making that sacrifice that you all have made. So I have the utmost respect. I want to thank you for your time, Master Sergeant, retired Master Sergeant Roy Gray. Hoorah!
Hoorah!
Have a great weekend. Wow.
All right, man. See you later.
All right. There you go, everybody. Boom. Nothing else needs to be said. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, God. Most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Like, share, and subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Feel free to go ahead and screen grab some of this heat that we brought to you. Retired Master Sergeant Roy Gray gave you some drop the mic comments and moments. Grab some of that, put it on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, share it in your story. Once again, like, share, and subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage, the official wardrobe consultant, along with Alexandria Jones and Bruce Gage, wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can find Alexandria Jones. You can go to Lexi_Nicole, LEXIE _ is that line at the bottom. Nicole, NICOE. So it's LEXIE _NICOLE Designs. Or Alexandria Jones, Alexandria, ALEXANDRIA. Bruce Gage, you can search him on Instagram or on Facebook. Bruce Gage, GAGE. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official hairstylist and barber for the Geno Jones Show. You can check him out on Instagram, Kelby Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. So if you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to advertise, I'd be honored to have you. I'd love to have you. I'd love to do business with you. So support black businesses, support small black businesses and entrepreneurs. Reach out to a brother. Hit me up. Leave me a message right here, Geno Jones Show at Gmail also. That's how you spell Geno. No, the Geno Jones Show at Gmail. And if you are looking for the ultimate pitch man or brand ambassador to help you build your brand, your business, to help you move your products, your goods, your services, to help generate more sales and revenue, I am the king of pitch man. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. Please spread the word. Tell everybody. Trying to build up my subscribers, my viewers, so I can get one of these checks from YouTube. So y'all help a brother out. Help this small business, this media company grow. So I want to go ahead and employ people and be able to generate jobs and opportunity for people for the next generation. So you can help a brother out by, let's sit down and talk about sponsorships. Love to have you advertise. Just reach out to me. I'm right here for you, all right? But I really do. I love each and every one of you. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Have a great weekend. I'll see you, me and you, Monday afternoon, early evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. The Geno Jones Show Live. Go back and binge watch all the episodes. This week has been fire. Every show has been fire. This week has been fire. So go back and binge watch. Copy the link, email it, tag and share it with everybody you know. Tell them to go back and binge watch the best of the Geno Jones Show. You'll be glad you did, everybody. So one final thing, I want to say thank you again so much for watching. The last thing is always till we meet again. Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.